The NFL is a brutal business, and for every legend who retires on their terms, there are dozens whose dreams shatter in an instant. Many of these players have faded from the spotlight, but their stories deserve to be remembered. Guys who flashed Hall of Fame potential, lit up the league for a brief, brilliant moment, and then had it all snatched away by injuries, tragedies, or just unforeseen circumstances. Talking about devastating knee blows, freak accidents, and health scares that left fans wondering, what if? So, today, we present to you 10 forgotten NFL stars whose careers ended in heartbreak. Number 10, William Andrews. So, kicking off our list is William Andrews, a powerhouse running back for the Atlanta Falcons, whose all-around game made him a forgotten gem of the 1980s. Drafted in the third round out of Auburn in 1979, Andrews quickly became the Falcons' workhorse, blending bruising power with receiving skills that were way ahead of his time. Over his last 4 seasons, he rushed for over 1,000 yards each year, peaking in 1981 with 1,301 rushing yards and 10 touchdowns, plus 81 receptions for 735 yards and 2 more scores, making him one of the league's top dual-threat backs. He earned 4 straight Pro Bowl nods from 1980 to 1983 and was a key part of Atlanta's offense, amassing 5,986 rushing yards and 30 touchdowns in just 6 seasons. Fans loved his versatility. He wasn't just a ground pounder, but instead a reliable outlet for quarterbacks like Steve Bartkowski. But heartbreak struck in the 1984 preseason when Andrews suffered a catastrophic knee injury, torn ACL, and other ligament damage during a non-contact drill. At age 28, he attempted to come back in 1986 after 2 years of grueling rehab, but managed only 214 yards in 15 games, a shadow of his former self. The Falcons released him shortly thereafter, and Andrews retired, his body just being unable to recapture the explosiveness that defined him. It's really heartbreaking too, because Andrews was on a Hall of Fame trajectory, his stats comparable to contemporaries like Earl Campbell, but that one freak twist ended it all. He later reflected on the mental toll, saying that the injury stole his confidence. A true what-if story from the Falcons' lean years. Number 9, Billy Sims. So, here at number 9, Billy Sims, the Heisman Trophy winner whose explosive start with the Detroit Lions promised stardom but ended in agony. First overall pick in 1980 out of Oklahoma, Sims bust onto the scene as an offensive rookie of the year, rushing for 1,303 yards and 13 touchdowns while adding 621 receiving yards and 3 more scores. He followed up with Pro Bowl seasons in 1981 and 1982, topping 1,000 yards each time and helping revitalize a struggling Lions franchise. By 1984, Sims had accumulated 4,419 rushing yards and 42 total touchdowns in just over 4 seasons, averaging 4.5 yards per carry. His shifty, powerful style drew comparisons to Barry Sanders, who would later succeed him in Detroit. Fortunately, heartbreak struck midway through the 1984 season against the Minnesota Vikings. In a routine play, Sims planted his right leg and felt a pop, a devastating knee injury that tore his ACL, MCL, and meniscus. At just 25 years old, he underwent surgery but never fully recovered, missing the entire 1985 season and retiring before 1986. The injury not only ended his career but led to years of pain and multiple surgeries. Sims later sued the Lions medical staff for malpractice, claiming mishandled treatment, which of course added some emotional scars to the physical ones. In a tragic tale of a star who could have been a Detroit all-time great, instead became a symbol of the NFL's unforgiving nature. Number 8, Tony Basili. Tony Basili, the dominant left tackle whose brief but brilliant career anchored the Jacksonville Jaguars' early success. That was until injuries betrayed him. The second overall pick in 1995, Basili immediately became a cornerstone, earning 5 straight Pro Bowl selections from 1996 to 2000. And he earned 3 All-Pro honors. He was twice named NFL Lineman of the Year and was pivotal in the Jags' 1999 AFC Championship run, allowing just 1 sack that season while protecting Mark Brunell. Over 7 seasons, he started 90 games, revolutionizing pass protection with his technique and strength, and was later named to the 1990s All-Decade Team. Heartbreak officially arrived in 2001 when chronic shoulder issues, including a torn labrum and rotator cuff, sidelined him for most of the year. Selected by the Houston Texans in the 2002 expansion draft, Basili attempted a comeback but failed his physical due to lingering shoulder problems, thus retiring at age 29 without playing a snap for him. Those injuries left him in constant pain, and he underwent multiple surgeries post-retirement. Basili's story is heartbreaking because the man was a surefire Hall of Famer, In fact, he was inducted in 2022. But his prime was tragically cut short, robbing fans of what could have been a 15-year dominant stretch. He once said, though, that the pain was so bad that he couldn't even lift his arm. His early retirement makes a lot of sense, but man, just a sad end for one of the era's best blockers. Number 7, Jerome Brown. A first-round pick by the Philadelphia Eagles in 1987 out of Miami, Brown became the heart of the gangrene defense, earning back-to-back All-Pro selections in 1990 and 1991. He racked up 29.5 sacks, 3 interceptions, and was a disruptive force, helping Philly to playoff berths with his blend of power and trash talk. 1991, he had 9.5 sacks and was named to the Pro Bowl, solidifying his status as one of the NFL's top interior linemen. The ultimate heartbreak came off the field, though. On June 25, 1992, at age 27, Brown died in a car accident in his hometown of Brooksville, Florida, when his Corvette flipped after losing control in wet conditions, also tragically killing his 12-year-old nephew as well. The Eagles were devastated. Teammates like Reggie White eulogized him as the soul of the team. Brown's death not only ended a promising career on the cusp of superstardom, but left a void in the locker room, with Philly dedicating their 1992 season to him. It's one of the NFL's most tragic stories, a vibrant personality gone far, far too soon. Number 6, Dwight Stevenson. Unsung center who dominated for the Miami Dolphins, but saw his career vanish in a flash. A second-round pick in 1980 out of Alabama, Stevenson anchored the Dolphins' line during the Dan Marino era, earning 5 straight Pro Bowls from 1983 to 1987 and 4 All-Pro nods. He was instrumental in Miami allowing the fewest sacks in the league for 6 consecutive seasons, protecting Marino and enabling explosive offenses. Hall of Famer since 1998, Stevenson started 87 games, known for his intelligence and his technique. Regrettably, though, in December of 1987, during a game against the New York Jets, Stevenson suffered a gruesome knee injury when hit by Marty Lyons. Torn ACL, MCL, and meniscus that required extensive surgery. At 30 years old, he attempted rehab but retired before the 1988 season. His mobility just gone. The injury was so severe that it ended not just his career, but altered his pro football life with chronic pain. This man was the best at his position. One low block erased years of excellence. He would go on later to coach, but man, the what-ifs of a longer career still lingers. Number 5, Kenny Easley. The intimidating safety whose Seattle Seahawks tenure was cut short by a hidden health crisis. A first-round pick in 1981 out of UCLA, Easley won AFC Defensive Rookie of the Year, followed by AFC Defensive Player of the Year in 1983 and NFL Defensive Player of the Year in 1984. He amassed 32 interceptions, 8 sacks, and was a 5-time Pro Bowler, blending hard hits with ball-hawking skills that defined the Legion of Boom precursor. The heartbreak unfolded in 1987 when, after a trade to the Phoenix Cardinals fell through due to a failed physical, doctors discovered severe kidney damage from prolonged use of painkillers like Advil for ankle injuries. At age 28, Easley retired immediately, suing the Seahawks for not disclosing risks. He underwent a kidney transplant in 1990, battling health issues for years. Inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2017, Easley's story is tragic. A career derailed not by a visible injury, but by the era's lax medical oversight. This man could have easily been the greatest safety that we've ever seen, but instead, he just became a cautionary tale. Number 4, Greg Cook. Greg Cook, the Cincinnati Bengals quarterback whose arm talent screamed superstar until injury silenced it. First-round pick in 1969 out of Cincinnati, Cook won AFL Rookie of the Year, throwing for 1,854 yards, 15 touchdowns, and averaging 9.41 yards per attempt despite a torn rotator cuff mid-season. His cannon arm and accuracy drew comparisons to Joe Namath, and he led the Bengals to early wins. Heartbreak, though, came from that undiagnosed shoulder injury in Week 3. Cook played through pain but was never quite the same, appearing in just one more game in 1973 after multiple surgeries. Retiring at 27, he became a scout and artist. But the what-if haunts Bengals fans. Cook mentored Ken Anderson and Boomer Esiason, passing on knowledge that he couldn't use himself. It's really heartbreaking, though, because in today's medicine, he'd likely be fully recovered. But instead, his career spanned just 12 games, a forgotten pioneer of Bengals history. Number 3, Sterling Sharpe. Bronze goes to Sterling Sharpe, the Green Bay Packers wideout whose record-setting pace ended abruptly. First round pick in 1988 out of South Carolina, Sharp led the NFL in receptions, 108, yards, 1,461, and touchdowns, 13 in 1992. The receiving triple crown. He repeated dominance with 112 catches in 1993 and 18 TDs in 1994, earning 3 All-Pro honors and 5 Pro Bowls. Over 7 seasons, 595 receptions, 8,134 yards, 65 TDs. Heartbreak hit post-1994, however, when a neck injury from a hit revealed loose vertebrae, forcing a retirement at age 29 to avoid paralysis. Sharp, Brett Favre's top target, watched his brother Shannon win Super Bowls while he commentated. While inducted into the Packers Hall of Fame, his story is tragic. A Hall-worthy resume cut short, leaving fans imagining a longer Favre-Sharp duo. Number 2, Gail Seres. The Chicago Bears' Kansas Comet, whose poetry in motion ended far too soon. First-round pick in 1965 out of Kansas, Seres set a rookie TD record with 22, earning 4 Pro Bowls and 5 All-Pros. He rushed for 4,956 yards at 5.0 YPC, added return TDs, and dazzled with elusiveness. Knee injuries, however, in 1968 and 1970 forced retirement at age 28 after failed comebacks. A Hall of Famer in 1977, Seres' brief career actually inspired Brian's song. But sadly, those injuries robbed longer greatness. Legendary career mercilessly cut short. Bo Jackson, the two-sport phenom whose Raiders career was a spectacle until a hip snap ended it. Drafted in 1987, Jackson rushed for 2,782 yards at 5.4 YPC over 4 seasons, including an 88-yard TD run, all while starring in the MLB. Sadly, however, in a 1991 playoff game, a tackle dislocated his hip, causing a vascular necrosis. Retiring from football at age 28, he played a little bit of baseball with an artificial hip, but he was never able to quite run the same again. Iconic advertisements aside, his dual sport potential was tragically halted by this unfortunate injury. But hey, which NFL star do you think had the most heartbreaking end to their career? Do you agree with our list? Is there anyone that we may have missed? Let us know in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, then hey, clicking that like button helps us out a ton. And you know, we really appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, then subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.